What's up? I'm Dan Fredenberg, and this is another Chance Encounter.
Hey, what's up? I'm Dan Fredenberg. I'm a commercial real estate guy. I'm from the internet. We're seeing more properties like this being built in front of a house. It's going to be torn down soon.
I understand that there are power lines that are getting kind of close.
What's up again? This is Dan Fredenberg, and that there is a commercial real estate building.
I'm joined today with Anthony Torres. How are you doing today, Anthony?
I am doing well. How are you?
I'm not too bad. Should I call you Tony, or is Anthony better?
We're going to go with Tony. Anthony's too much work.
It is. That all those syllables, it's bonkers, but that's not what you're here to discuss. You're here on this Chance Encounter, if you haven't been here before, is I always interview commercial real estate investors. And what I'm doing is I'm saying, hey, there are 5 different motivations I've found that commercial investors may have for why they're going for their next property and which one's you. And then I go through the Dan Does Deals commercial roll die, which has the 6 different roles in a commercial deal. And I say, hey, which one of these best describes you? And if you're going to be successful in commercial real estate, you have to be able to express yourself clearly. And the other thing you have to be able to do is introduce yourself effectively. So now that I've teed that up for you, Tony, can you please introduce yourself to the audience?
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Tony Torres. I am the founder and servant of Core 13 Capital. One of the things that I love the most is serving Jesus more than money, real estate, or anything else. I love connecting with people, supporting my tribe, and being there for my community. We are a Christ-centered commercial real estate investment firm where we aspire, and our mission is to take a large portion of our profits and deploy them to missions to where people cannot help themselves. So that's really what my why is. It keeps me going. I do not believe that money can be your why, because then there really is no end. So that's really all about me and where my faith lies and what I'm seeking to do.
All right, that is beautiful, and it'll be interesting to think of what this motivation piece says in that context. So I'm going to. Can you see the PowerPoint now on your screen?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So I can't see it because I neglected to open up my laptop here. But anyway, so why do you want part of a commercial property? I go through this part first because if it's a newbie that I'm interviewing, they're going to know what their motivation is, but they're probably not going to know what their role is going to be out of these 6. So I go through them first. The first motivation is preserving your purchasing power. Okay, so if you rely on your wealth and the cash flow from it to make ends meet, the main thing that you're going to be concerned about is inflation eating away at your purchasing power. So you have to keep on making new acquisitions, or else inflation will crash the party. The next reason is my one, which is trading time for wealth. As a guy who's in tech, I've got lots of opportunities to make a high wage, a high salary, but then the problem is I'm also paying the highest form of income tax, the highest form of tax, which is income tax. And it hit me that, well, why don't I use my tech skills directly in commercial real estate so that I'm trading my time and effort in for wealth, in other words, equity. So that's what I'm up to. The next reason, though, is the most common one, which is fast tracking your retirement. Fast tracking your retirement has a couple things that are implied. One is that you actually have something that you're starting to work with, and you're basically becoming more educated to make sure that you're making the best choices with your retirement funds. But the other main thing that's implied is that one day you're going to want to, cash in, and maybe you want to live in a place where the cost of living is low and live out your days that way, where you have to work very little. But just like you were mentioning mentioning a second ago, Tony, that's in contrast to the people who are ultra ambitious. They want to buy their entire hometown. They just, nothing is ever enough. And those guys will keep on hustling into their 90s. So that's like why I at least feel it's like, okay, if our interests are aligned, then I think there's still a great opportunity for a partnership. But the last one, it sounds like it's closer to yours. This is tongue in cheek calling it irrational, but see, basically some people, they want to have the biggest impact on society, and they recognize that accumulating wealth is the best vehicle out there to do that. Maybe they want to build a hospital or something like that, and so they have to keep on making these acquisitions in order to make that happen. So out of those 5 different motivations there, like the fifth one, maybe it's also the environment, maybe instead it's animals or something like that. But which of those 5 resonate with you best, Tony?
I would say that it's the, I don't remember the exact vocabulary, but it's about the impact by far. It's really, I believe that everything in real estate that you want to have happen, if you do it with integrity and you do it the right way, all of it will happen naturally. You'll make a ton of money. You'll have all the deals that you want. You'll retire early if you want to. You can live where you want. But the one thing that is intentional, once you realize the income and once you realize what you're trying to do, is the impact. So that is what really keeps me moving, because that's the one area that it's really a put up or shut up type thing. You either have the impact or you're living selfishly for yourself.
That's a beautiful thing. I love to have those bigger reasons, because they've been a big source of me making some of my biggest choices. But the next thing is that having your heart in the right place, it only goes so far. It really is also about like what you're contributing. Where do you sit at the table? So just so you and the audience have an effective way to communicate on the topic of commercial real estate, I'll go through all 6. The first one is the repositioner. That's a person who looks at a whole whack of different properties, and then they do something, it's a fancy word, it's called underwriting, which means they do the math. They say, hey, this property that I might make an offer on, is it actually making the amount of money that the seller says it is? And what ways are there in my toolbox that I can find upside? And the 2 main tools that a repositioner has for upside, the first one is operations. You stop those Benjamins from going down the toilet. And of course, there's more to it than operations than just unclogging toilets and reducing different expenses. It's also making sure your vacancy rate is low. So the only other problem, though, about operations as your main tool for upside is that it is not going to be enough in a hot market like right now. So very often you need a contractor team to actually make the units nicer so that you can charge more in rent, because that's what upside really is. But if you're like me and you're from the internet, then you've got a big fat problem, and that is you need to have a local. You need to have somebody nearby who can take care of the place, be there in an hour or 2, because it's not going to be me, because I don't even want to have to find my passport in that time. But if you were a tenant, those 4 sides that I just mentioned are probably going to be who you think of if you ever think of the owner. But of course, it's not that simple. The banks are always involved. The financiers, the capital raisers, all that kind of stuff. If we find a property that we want to buy and it's worth tens of millions of dollars, the question that a financier is going to have when I ask for tens of millions of dollars is, who's your sponsor? Who's your KP? Who's the one who already has an asset that's similar to what you're trying to purchase? So even if you're Elon Musk, if you want to get a loan, you have to have somebody in the fold who already owns a similar asset. They also have to have a certain amount of liquidity, and they also have to have a balance sheet worth at least the amount of the loan. But if you've got all those pieces, you've got yourself a commercial real estate deal. So Tony, what is your core competency that you're most likely to contribute to your next commercial deal?
I would say between the 2, it's probably going to be the repositioner underwriting and the locale. I'm very good at understanding markets. That's what I did when I was with Zillow. was I analyzed markets and understood the areas that I'm in and boots on the ground. That is an area that I am strongly about, and then underwriting as well. That's where I can add a lot of value.
All right, beautiful. And so you mentioned the local side. So the next question, I call it the buy box. It's the ideal property. And what I'm really asking is what's the geography, what's the unit count, and what's the class of the property type where it's easier to say yes, it's way more difficult to say no. So Tony, what's your ideal property look like in those three respects?
Southeast, Florida is the unicorn because everything is ridiculously expensive here. But Southeast, B class, 30 units to 150 units. Don't want to go lower than 30 units because you can have somebody just come pay all cash for it. It's going to be hard to syndicate the thing. 150 units, you're looking at a larger type asset that just takes it to another level. So B class, Southeast, 30 to 150 units. That's what I'm looking at.
All right, beautiful. And as far as one of my favorite things about commercial real estate in general is because nobody is all of the faces at the same time. You know, like maybe like if you're going to be the remote guy like me, you have to be able to be competent at pretty much all of them. But as far as because you're never all the sides of the die, we're all also better suited to help some people than others. So without breaking any SEC restrictions, so no enticing investors, can you tell me who you're best suited to help in commercial real estate?
That's a good question. Ooh.
Okay, the common answers are like beginners if they're looking to, you know, like get used to it, find out
Yep.
how to increase their network, you know, things like that, or people.
Yep.
Yeah.
I am best suited for the beginner that's looking to understand how to network, meet people, connect with people, and provide solutions and value. That's the area that I can help. I'm the one that's going to help you realize your confidence level in contacting brokers, contacting people within your network, not being afraid to contact them, and leveraging your network. Because most people, including yourself, Dan, are willing to lend a hand if all you have to do is ask. And to add to that, without wasting a lot of time, majority of the people I have found on LinkedIn are just as afraid to reach out to you as you are to them. So break the boundary, reach out to them, and they're not gonna. I've never seen anybody get hurt by reaching out to somebody and asking for a conversation to learn, ever.
Great. Yeah. Me personally, whenever I do it, I just try and make sure that the expectation is super duper clear. And so the person knows like what you're getting into and why it's not going to be a huge pain in the ass, really. So
Right. Yeah. Yep. Yep.
that's how
That's it, man. That's it.
But as far as how to reach out to you, like if you just describe somebody to a T, if they're sitting there in a little piece of glass over there,
Yeah.
What's the best way for them to reach out to you? Is it through LinkedIn or is there a website that's better or something?
Definitely going to be through LinkedIn. And the reason that is because I'm a heavy LinkedIn user with yourself and as many that are within my network. I am heavily involved in the space on LinkedIn. So go find me, Tony Torres. And with Core 13 Capital, I'm here to provide value in any way, discuss what our mission is, discuss what we're trying to do, and seek to help you in any way I can.
All right, awesome. So let's talk about that for a second then, about the nature of social media, because I think so many people, they don't really get that. And I think the important thing to understand about social media and building your presence is it's exactly like real estate. It's all about traffic, right? And
Yep.
and that only happens if you have good proximity to traffic. So it means you need to invest in your relationships that are actually going to keep going year after year. You agree that you really want anybody who wants to take it seriously. Don't worry about us feeling it's like, uh-oh, this person's, treading on my turf or something like that. It's like, no, we absolutely need each other to make this.
Oh, yeah.
We cannot do it alone.
Absolutely. I am I'm a big sports fan, and I am in golf, and I love football. And there's two things that you can learn from them. And one of them that is the main thing that you'll learn is that you cannot do this alone. It is impossible. You can pretty much do any other profession alone, given enough time and resources, but you cannot do real estate alone. It's impossible. So what I would say is, number one, from a connection base, if you reach out to me and you want to connect, or I connect with you, expect a phone call, because I'm not on LinkedIn to just have more numbers there from a connection space. It's going to be, we're hopping on the phone, we're calling, I'm seeing how I can help you, how we could potentially work together, find more out about you. That's what it's about. Second thing is that if you're going to use LinkedIn, it is different than all other social medias in the fact that LinkedIn is a purpose-driven platform. Facebook, you can just sit there and scroll all day, and it's no harm, no foul. Same thing as all the other social medias. But LinkedIn, to really thrive there, is you have to get out of that zone of just scrolling, or else it's useless. You have to connect with people. You have to reach out to people. And if it's nothing more than just to say hi, you'll never succeed in real estate or in business in general if you don't connect with people to put your why out there, to put your reasoning for being here out there, because that's how you'll get deals done. I believe that. That's how people will take a chance on you of being on their team, is by getting yourself out there, let them know you're serious, and say, look, this is where I want to be. I need you to help me get there, and I want to help you get to where you want to go.
And after that, everybody in the little piece of glass here has got to be thinking, how can we help? How can we do a part of that? Well, there is one really big ask that I have for you, which is if you look under, like here, there's a red button and it says subscribe, and it sucks. Okay, if you just click on it, it turns gray and it's awesome. All it does is it means that YouTube pays for these videos instead of me. And that's better, right? So make sure you hit that red button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. It's really awesome. And just doing that, you've done me an enormous favor. It costs you nothing. It just means that my videos may show up on your list of suggestions. You don't even have to watch them because you've already done me an enormous favor. Just like Tony, you've done me an enormous favor by joining me today. Thank you so much for coming in, and it's great getting to know you.
Absolutely. My pleasure, Dan. I appreciate it.
All right. Thanks.